Well, hello there, my name is Ed, and welcome to Pickup Leftovers of the Month. Oh yeah, this month we have a ton of pickups. I'm going to split them up in part 1 and part 2. In this first part, I'm going to show you all the stuff I got over at a garage sale. Also picked up 4 new NES games I needed for my collection. Some pretty hard ones to get in here. But first, I want to talk to you about this N64 controller. It was given to me by consolecables.be, which is a dude who basically has a ton of new console cables and controllers that you can buy. So say when you find a console over at Fleamarket, but it's missing a controller, it's missing one of the cables, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to eBay and hunt down that one cable and maybe spend a ton of money? And then it might just not end up working? Well, you can get a new one, a reproduction cable from consolecables.be. So yeah, that's one of the things you can buy there. The reason I got this blue N64 controller is because it has a USB port thingy, which means I can hook it up to my Mac and I can emulate with it, and I did that now. Maybe you watched the last episode of Ed's Retro Geek Out and you saw that I picked it up, but at that time I didn't have the chance to try this out yet. So yeah, now I did. I played a couple of my favorite games on the N64, and I was kind of surprised. This thing is fluid, man. Also, the stick is very tight.
Tight like a tiger, you know?
I haven't felt a stick like that in a long time. That sounded weird. That sounded really weird. Okay, so this is my old stick. This is my old controller from when I was a kid. Yeah, this one does feel just a little bit lighter. It's not as heavy as this one, but as far as how the buttons react and how this control stick reacts, it's actually pretty accurate. It's really good. I'm actually pretty happy with my purchase. Not really a purchase, I got it, but I'm very happy I picked out this N64 controller thing. And talking about N64, they're kind of announcing that they're gonna do an N64. I don't think it's confirmed yet. It's just that they patented some things about the N64 that had people speculating, hey, there's going to be an N64 Mini. And then people were starting to do like, hey, there's going to be a Virtual Boy Mini. Oh, please, freaking make that happen. I want a Virtual Boy Mini. There's even some speculation about Microsoft doing a mini console of the first Microsoft Xbox thing. And yeah, On a Retro Trip made this really funny parody of the Game Boy Micro. So yeah, the Advanced Micro having a mini, so it'll be so small. I'll link it. Definitely check out the video. It's freaking awesome. On a Retro Trip did such a good job on that one. But yeah, N64 classic. I don't know. I grew up with the system, so I'll probably pick it up if they're ever gonna do it. I'll pick it up. I don't know if they would do it actually, because I don't know. So much about that console is about group gaming, not really just you. It's about Mario Kart, it's about 4 players, so how are they gonna freaking fit 4 of these controllers in there? They can't really make them tiny, you know? Yeah, you had all of the Mario Party games, you had all of the first-person shooters where you could, you know, shoot each other, stuff like that. On the other hand, you did have the first 3D Zeldas, which are pretty darn good on there. Some of the other favorite games on there are probably also the racing games. N64 had a ton of cool racing games. My favorite racing game on there is probably Cruisin' World, next to Diddy Kong Racing. At least to me, the N64 Mini, is it gonna work out? I don't think so because of Rare, because Rare is now under Microsoft, I think, and that means that basically some of even the launch titles like Killer Instinct, you know, DK64, that was also done by Rare. However, Donkey Kong Country did get popped onto the SNES Mini, so maybe there's hope. Maybe there is hope. So yeah, those are just a couple of really cool N64 games that I was playing around with earlier today with my new controller, and yeah, it felt great. It felt great. I can play any game I want. Apart from that, PlayStation came up with the ridiculous ridiculously good sounding name of putting out a PlayStation 1 Classic Mini thing. Oh yeah. Now, I'm not a really big PlayStation guy. My collection is pretty small down over here, but I do like it a lot. I played it back in the day, of course. When I was growing up, most of my friends had one, so I ended up playing it. To me, the PlayStation 1 Mini would be cool for me just to experience the classic games that most kids had back then, but the 5 packing games they've already announced, I don't know about that. I mean, it would be cool to play Wild Arms, but back in the day, I had never heard about Wild Arms. Yeah, some of the games I would be looking forward to seeing on this console are... Let me just grab my pal. I got Spyro, of course. Spyro. Who didn't play Spyro back in the day? Tekken 3. I played the hell out of that game. One of my friends had it. Tony Hawk Skateboarding. They'll probably go for Tony Hawk Skateboarding 2. Final Fantasy should be on it. I don't know if they're gonna put it on it, but Medieval is one of the games I played the hell out of a demo. And now finally, when I started retro collecting, I found the game, the complete game. So I still have to finish this, but this is one of my favorite memories about the PlayStation 1, playing Medieval. Silent Hill, the whole Resident Evil franchise on there, like 1 through 4. Metal Gear Solid was pretty darn spectacular when it first came out. I remember seeing this at the toy store, and I was like, there were kids trying out Metal Gear Solid, and it looked so freaking cool, and I was there like, oh, I have an N64, what do I get? And I picked up Banjo and Kazooie, which was freaking amazing. Love that game. Talking about fun platformer kind of things, of course, you need to have Crash Bandicoot on there, and something pretty like Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. Oh my god. I as a kid, I really liked Lara. She looked really good, you know. If you don't like Lara Croft or Tomb Raider, the games were fun too, you know, but you know, you were playing with this hot chick. Who wouldn't want to do that, you know? You know, in Metroid, you didn't find out she was a chick until after you like finished the game. But over here, it was like quite obvious. All right, I'm playing as a hot ass chick, and I don't mind, you know. So yeah, enough talk about minis, because you know I need to find games for my freaking game collection. That new stuff that, you know, those plug and play mini consoles. They're all fun. They're all like, you know, it's cool to get, because when my kids grow up and they want to play this stuff, I'll hand them that, and they don't have to touch my actual collection. That's why I want to get those. So I went out garage sailing with the family, and I picked up a couple things. So let's check out some of that footage. Now, this is a fun story, getting this Earthworm Jim game. I was talking to a guy, you know, I was like, hey, maybe you have some games, maybe you have something from back in the day, and he was like, yeah, I still have my old Mega Drive, and I was like, well, maybe you got some games then too, and he's like, yeah, I don't really want to part with them. So I did the trick out of the book that is, you know, the thing that CJR says all the time, you know, just ask them about games they don't want anymore. And that's what I've been doing the last 3 years, because it's been getting really hard to get consoles out of the house lately. It's more like, you know, I don't want your Marios, I don't need your Sonics, just hand me over the obscure stuff, because that's the stuff I need for my collection. And the guy came out with Earthworm Jim. He was like, yeah, I didn't like this game, so you can buy this one. I was like, okay, I actually need this game. So this was a perfect match. I did pay 10 euros for this, because he was like still a bit hesitant of, you know, selling a game from his Mega Drive collection, because he still plays it quite often, but he never plays this one. So I got this Earthworm Jim game, really cool. It is complete, nice. It's in very nice condition. Still need to get Earthworm Jim 2 for the Mega Drive. But yeah, Earthworm Jim, I remember playing it back in the day. This was pretty fun. Playmates also did a toy line for this video game series, and I think it had a cartoon. I'm not sure about it. I never saw it. I did see the toys. I did play the game, and it was freaking fun. It's kind of hard, this game, though. Like, the first stage, I didn't really know where to go as a kid, but after a while, I figured it out. And moving on, what other stuff did I find over at these Garagesales? I don't think this stuff is on camera because I was there with the family running around and I didn't want to be like... Anyways, I picked up some E.T. books. A lady had these 2 books about E.T., a movie adaptation, and this one is called E.T. on the Green Planet. I have no clue about these 2. They were 20 cents a piece, so I was like, you know, it's E.T., I'll pick it up and I'll shove it in my collection. Then I was also digging around in a tub, and there I found this Barney figure from the Flintstones movie. I think this guy has some kind of action where he... I don't know what this goes to, but I was like, you know, it's a Barney figure. Let's just pick it up. And a really pretty cool find is this Mondo Gecko Rock and Roller. So this is one of the Mondo Gecko variants. He was only 50 cents, but his hand is chewed up. And I was like, you know, I don't really see this figure, so I'll spend the 50 cents on this one, and then I can maybe upgrade it when I find a better one, or one that has both hands. So yeah, picked up this little guy over here, another turtle for the collection. Why not? This was kind of like a surprise to me. I was like, we were there at 11, so it's kind of late. It was already, I think, almost noon. Anyways, I look out of the corner of my eye, and what do I see? I see a board game, a freaking gorgeous board game. This board game is so freaking cool. And I was like, how much do you want for that? And the lady's like,
the board games are €5.
and I'm like,
ooh, I gotta grab that.
so I did. And I picked up this complete Hero Quest game. Freaking awesome. Hero Quest is kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons game. So it's role-playing. You play with tiny little armies and mummies and barbarians and stuff like that. There's 4 heroes in here that you and 3 other of your friends can guide around through the board, and there's one master guy who has to, who keeps an eye on how the game is going. This is a very collectible board game. It can go up to 80 euros if you want to resell it. I'm gonna keep this one because it also had one of the expansions in there. So yeah, it came with all of these extra figurines that weren't supposed to be in that cardboard board game thing. Apparently they also had Hero Quest: The Magicians of Morcar, which is an expansion pack. So yeah, some more missions to do in there, I think, is what that thing does. But most importantly, the thing it came with that is most important to me is freaking toy folders, like toy catalogs. It's just a stupid catalog, but I love these things. I don't know why. So yeah, this basically holds all of the new Milton Bradley games that you could buy. It's fun to have these little catalogs. I keep them aside and look at them every once in a while. This is like the stuff I would look at as a kid and be like, oh, maybe I'd want that, maybe I'd want that. But yeah, enough talk about geeky Dungeons and Dragon games. Let's get into the NES games because, well, there's a couple, 2 really good ones in here. Alright, so we got these 4 NES games. I bought them off a friend of mine. He had a ton of NTSC games, which I am missing a lot of. So that's why I was like, oh, well, I gotta get those and that game too, He told me, make me an offer, and then I asked him, what's your price? And we weren't actually too far off. So we met in the middle, which is great, doing business like that, because if the guy is gonna stay firm on something, I'm like not gonna go ahead because, I'm a repeat customer. I want to get a deal. Anyways, we got Mule for the NES here. This is kind of like a colony game or something with cattle. It has something to do with... It's a strategic game. I kind of got lost in it. I'm not sure what this game is about. Mule. We also got Dirty Harry.
Go ahead. Make my day.
This is not one of the best games. It only has 3 levels apparently. And yeah, I think AVGN just reviewed this one. I played it like... I played like 1 minute so I could pop some gameplay over here for you guys. But yeah.
I know what you were thinking. Did he already show 3 or 4 games? Well, you feel lucky, bunk.
Well, the next couple of games made my day. This one is Ghostline. This one is a RPG game. One that isn't talked about too much, mainly because we have an aerobic lady with a sword and a tiger on there. So yeah, Jane Fonda. And a ghost lion, because it's a white tiger lion thing on there. I don't know. It kind of feels like playing Dragon Quest. It's a turn-based battle system in there, but you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have another RPG for the original NES. Yeah. And then we come to probably the most rare game in this lot over here, and that is one with a freaking amazing cover. It is Godzilla 2. Godzilla 2, War of the Monsters. Now, this is a strategic game. Also a freaking strategic game. The cover looks so freaking nice, but it is a strategic game. Yeah, basically you have a map, you can see Godzilla, and you have tanks and atom bombs and stuff like that. You can click anywhere, and basically what you need to do is you need to set up a strategy wherein you have Godzilla come out of the water and you can shoot him or throw stuff at him, bombs, and you know, win, I guess. You can click on like different houses, and then like the scientists inside will tell you what to do or give you tips. Didn't really get a chance to play this too much, but it is a very sought after game, and I'm very happy to add it to the NES collection. So yeah, that was 4 new games for the NES collection. This was the first part of Pick Up Leftovers. And yeah, Friday I will upload the next part wherein I go to a couple of flea markets. It's going to be pretty nice. I found some cool stuff, and I found a pretty sick SNES score over there. So definitely tune in Friday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on Friday, guys. Bye!